Lo, lo, and behold. It is I, Pastor Eric, here, pastor of the Yaylorian Church, to do the first ever official, non-practice Yaylorian tarot card reading. This tarot card reading has much in common with a normal tarot card reading, except unlike a normal tarot card reading, this one will be transubstantiated into the truths of Yaylor. So I need somebody who wishes to be read in this inaugural first ever formal, recorded, ready for upload tarot card reading of the Church of Yaylor. It's called a Yarrow card reading. Some people refer to it as that. Others a Yaylor card reading, or a Yaylor reading, or a Yaylor reading, as it's sometimes abbreviated. Who would like to be read by the tarot cards? Taylor? That would be appropriate in the inaugural official first formal Yaylorian tarot card reading ceremony that Taylor, the body condo of Yaylor, be read. What do you say?
I agree.
Okay, then let's begin. Your
Okay,
first.
you got a second though.
They got the deck set up. There are 13 rows of 6 cards each. Pick your first card, row and column.
All right, hold on. I got to get out the Aelorian map gas of the central region.
The power of this dual transubstantiation, the dually occurring transubstantiation in 2 locations concurrently. I'm worried about the fabric of the universe. I hope it's sturdy enough. It should be, but we play with mighty forces.
Or just some really thick burlap. But that's pretty much Kevlar.
Right. Whenever you are ready, and the fiery map guide's truths of Yaylor compel you to do so, choose your first card, row, then column. 13 rows, 6 columns.
Out of my seat. Hey, give me that tablet thing. You look suave.
You got swap.
I'm glad for the Yaylorian rituals.
What do I do?
You pick a card. There are 13 rows and 6 columns. You can pick by column, then row. And I will push it on the computer. And I will send you the link of the card. And I will explain to you what it means.
There's 13 rows.
And 6 columns.
Okay. I choose 11, 4.
Your first card is the Sun. This card represents that in the spread of the meaning slabs of existence, you are currently at the center of most of the important narrative lines within your purview. And thus, the near future represents a highly impactful time in your life. Choose your next card.
9, 6.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6. Your second card is the Lovers. I will send you the link to these. I meant to do that before. This is the Lovers. This card represents the significance of particular relationships in your life, not merely the obvious one indicated by the nudity of the male and female in the picture. Rather, it represents the nature of binary combinations in the flux of complex systems represented by those clouds there, in order to find the grail represented by that throbbing erection mountain in the middle.
It is a pretty phallic erection, isn't it?
It is. Your next card, sir.
11-1.
Okay. The Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is here. The Knight of Cups represents a methodology, a means by which one's will is manifest as a given outcome along a larger path. And what this card is intended to show is that expediency can be found through the usual means of transport. But one has to watch that the ground itself does not become water, in which case one's horse will fall and one's cup will be spilled, its contents to drift uselessly into the ground.
I think you're ad-libbing a little bit.
Ad-libbing?
A little bit.
Well, it's an interpretive process. So the pace and pattern at which the truths of Yalor become channeled will vary according to the complexity of the truths to be revealed and the complexity of the knots to be untangled en route to laying out the whole, which hopefully will gleam with its completeness upon completion.
Where the fuck are my sunglasses when I need them?
You have 6 more cards to go. Your first card was the Sun. It represents the significance of the near future and the centrality of yourself in narratives larger than you.
So, will you?
Your second card was the Lovers. It represents the significance of particular binary relationships.
Yes.
Third card was the Knight of Cups. It represents the importance of attending to the ground you upon which you walk, metaphorically.
Sun, Lovers, Knight of Cups.
Yes. Next, you've got another choice.
I want 2-6.
2-6.
My guesses aren't even close to each other, so there's no way I'm sinking your battleship.
It's an excellent joke. Here is the result of that. It is called the V. It doesn't have the 5 of Cups. That's what this is. 5 of Cups.
More cups?
More cups. Now, the cup in Yalorian Tarot represents that which the potentialities exhausted in order to manifest potentialities realized. And the multi-usability of the contents of any cup. In this card, we see an individual who has done some
Drank all the food.
who has squandered, but who retains ample capacity to get across the river. And so it is that you should view your near future as one in which past potentialities are there to be regretted, but the regret is a pointless use of energy, for 2 cups remain behind you, yet to be used, and only 1 river to cross. Next choice for you.
How many more do I have? 4?
You've got 5 more choices. There are 9 total you're supposed to pick. You've picked 4.
And then at the end, you're going to string these together into a narrative that's cohesive?
Yes. Try.
Got quite work cut out for you, huh?
I've got it figured out already. It's okay.
1-1.
1 and 1? Okay. As I suspected. This is the 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords. Here is the link. The 9 of Swords is a very curious card. It tells us again about these matters of regret. We return to this issue of regret with the swords. I displayed in the 5 of Cups, where regret was not yet realized. The 9 of Swords represents the final elimination of potentialities considered but cast aside. And in exchange for what? Why, for impermeable defenses. And yet, without the attacking other from the outside, one is wrought with despair. And so it is this card warns, leave additional ways in and out of a room, metaphorically.
I'm totes adorbs.
You are. In that picture, you are totes adorbs. You've got your card number 6 to choose now. You got 6, 7, 8, and 9 left. Card number 6 to choose.
Seven, 4.
Okay. In this card, the Page of Swords. This card represents a return to your younger times, when you would wield your sword with carefree delight, slashing at opponents as though they were but clouds. Wispy, windy wherewithals that one could dispatch with the slightest flick of a wrist. But note that the wind pushes one westward, ever westward, and that one must turn away from the delights of meaning-free exercises and towards more purposeful builds. Next card is your 7th choice.
11-1.
You already picked that one.
Oh, 11-3.
The 2 of Wands. 2 of Wands. Well, this is about your deep guardian. Your deep guardian is the last line of defense you have, deepest within you, against absolute failings, failings from which one cannot recover. Still he stands vigilant. In his hand, he holds a skull, and that skull is comprised of a particular set of individual narratives, proofs, examples, distinctions, capacities. Ah! When I burned myself. Ow. When you address things with this guy, you can't drop that. Okay. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 more cards to choose.
Um, 13-3.
13-3. Five of Swords. This card reminds you to always remember to spend ample time looking towards your comrades in arms and limited time looking to your defeated foes. And there are at least 2 and probably more distinct reasons for this. Okay, now we are down to... that was 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. We're down to your last card.
13-6.
This bodes well. The King of Cups. This card here is a link to my own tarot card reading, which I had in Ohio, where I too had the King of Cups. It's my second card. It represents attainment. Attainment forthcoming. And your tarot card reading is a mirror of my own, in that mine warned of attainment in the present and of the tricky path of managing the moving forward of that towards something persistent. Yours manifests the following story. Long have you been a babe atop the white horse, shining with the map gas fires of Yalor in your individualism. But there came upon you another, a particular single relationship that has represented a shift in which you now understand that your delighting as the sun necessitates the attending to, and also enables the attending to, and also suggests the attending to, of binary other relationships. With the Five of Cups, we see that, with the Knight of Cups, we see that in the status quo things proceed well, that this compromise from an identity of one to an identity comprised of twos has worked well, and is continuing to work with effectiveness and without losing its moral center. But note, too, next, the Five of Cups tells us the risks associated with squander. Then we look to the Nine of Swords, the risks associated with overcorrecting from the Five of Cups. One might find oneself safe and isolated. That to provide vulnerability of the self as a means of defense is an important goal for you. And then we move over to the matter of swords and wands. We note with the Page of Swords, again, a return to the issue of youthful dalliance and the need to move westwards towards purposeful, lasting builds. And then in the Five of Swords, we note that those battlefields upon which we make our way west afford temptations of self-understanding via the starkest, bluntest of comparisons. And with the Two of Wands, we remember that at the end of the day we have the Deep Guardian, the last bastion of self that defends any and all core identity components from threat. And we must remember not to drop the construction of self when utilizing that manner of defense. Should we attain this, then we find ourselves properly of royal status of attainment, in which the self is realized in all its potential glory. And thus concludes the first ever tarot reading of Yalerism. I'll end it now without any further comment, as it seems appropriate.